welcome again to another podcast episode of Artist Spotlight series. I'm Jay, lead publicist here at Pressdown Media, and we are highlighting the best independent music artists in North America. Last episode, we had Montreal's indie rock duo Jitensha, and this week we have Kingston, Ontario's folk singer-songwriter Sam Kaiser. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, Sam, you and I had worked together on releasing your single Good Things and your EP Pocket Change, and we had great success with that. You submitted Good Things to Spotify and were placed on the Folk and Friends playlist, which is awesome, amazing. And it got you over 50,000 streams so far.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for sure.
How does that feel? Do you think Good Things would have had that much success, or?
Yeah, it was really surprising. I thought I've always been submitting songs to Spotify through their feature, like the editing picks or whatever, and I hadn't really get much success with it. But I always like hoped like one day maybe I can get it right, get the algorithm right or whatever. But I was really proud of Good Things, and I thought it was a good song, and I thought it was a good I thought I produced it quite well too.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know it was on the playlist originally. A friend told me that he saw it on the playlist, and I was
Oh,
like, "Oh,
amazing.
wow, awesome!" Because I saw the stream numbers coming in, and I was like, "Oh, I guess like more of my friends are listening to it." But no, it got on the playlist, and it did really well. So
Wow.
yeah, really sweet, really cool.
Well, 50,000 is definitely some pocket change.
Yeah, for sure,
Right?
for sure, for
Little
sure.
pun on your EP there.
Yeah.
Um, but Good Things is really such a feel good song. And even when the first time you sent it to me and Arthur, before you had even mixed and finally mastered it, I was like, wow, this is a real catchy tune. And I felt like it was going to go somewhere. It's so simple, so comforting, and so warm, and just really you thinking about why the good things have to end. So tell us more about writing that song.
For sure. I wrote it when I was in quarantine, and I was just like really kind of down and just thinking about my summer and just thinking
Mm-hmm.
about like good things that had happened in the summer and like things that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I've said this a few times, but it's just about like how I didn't want good things to go sour. But they
Mm-hmm.
always do, and that's just kind of what happens. Or like things go sour, and then the best times are the ones that don't have a chance to. That's why they're so short and so quick and
Right.
so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just kind of a reflection on that. And then that last verse was just kind of like thinking about where these things go and like where do they
Yeah.
go when we think about them and how much, like how much they mean to us even after they've ended. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good thought. And maybe sometimes you don't actually think about that, but I think this song is so great in that introspection just to give it, an actual meditation or thought on
Mhm.
that topic. So the pandemic, how has that affected you? Because I know a lot of artists have been writing during this pandemic, and a lot of people are writing about their experiences through the pandemic. So Pocket Change, did that come out of this whole experience, or?
It did, yeah, in some ways for sure. I think definitely Back to Kingston was a reflection on just like feeling strange about going back to somewhere during a pandemic when everything was really different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Good Things was definitely written within the pandemic. So was Back to Kingston. But I Belong and Give You Time, which were like the latter two songs on the EP, were kind of floating around for a while. And I had written them a while back, but I found that there was kind of a through line between all the songs and
Right.
that they kind of just like felt right to me, fitting in this project, even though they were written like before the pandemic and like
Right.
before I was really feeling how I feel about the songs now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's really funny because a lot of the artists I speak to on these podcasts, they had written their songs pre-pandemic, but then all
Yeah.
of a sudden it worked with the pandemic. So
Yeah.
it's kind
For
of weird
sure.
that it happens in that way. So what other inspirations had led to this EP then?
Yeah. Well, I think like like a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, like it's always a reflection of something that happens in our lives, like
Mhm.
whether they're like, I don't know, breakups or like relationships. That's what I mean. So many songs are written about love and relationships and that. And of course,
Mhm.
those incidents and things inspire me too. But I
Yeah.
just like I don't know. I think my approach to songwriting has always been it's never really defined any sort of hook or anything. Like I love a catchy chorus and I love
Mhm.
like when something sounds so great. But whenever I'm writing music, it's just always just like it's so important to me that it's rooted in truth. And
Mhm.
because I think all great art is rooted in truth. And if I'm singing something that I don't really believe, then I don't really want to be singing it, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's always some kernel of truth in everything I write. And sometimes I'm trying to tell a more general story, or I
Mhm.
frame it as a story about someone else or something else.
Mhm.
But as long as there's that one true thing that I can always like feel when I'm singing a song that I've written, then I know that I'm happy with the music, you know?
Yeah, your music seems very genuine, all about the feels. You could definitely tell that because I know that you like to perform in cafes in a more intimate setting.
Yeah.
So you definitely like to connect with the audience in that way, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. And I appreciate that. Thanks so
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I think there's just I like to create music that feels warm to me too, and just like kind
Mhm.
of inviting. Because I think a lot of people go to music as a sort of relief, or as like a sort of like
Yeah.
meditation, or point of relaxation. And I think like, even though sometimes I'm singing about sad things, there's also like a bit of a cathartic feeling, or like just
Yeah.
like, oh, someone else is feeling the same way, or someone else is putting this into words in a different way, but I
Mhm.
agree, kind of thing, something like
I
that.
think that's why it connects so well with the audience. And I think that's why Good Things had such a good response.
Yeah.
Probably everyone was kind of going through what you were going through. And when they put on that song, it's like, oh, I could definitely relate to this, you know?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I was really happy with the way that that song came out, because it's not a very long song, and it's
No.
not it's not a very like it's not a very like word heavy song. There aren't that many lyrics, but I was just happy with the questions that I asked in the song, and yeah, just the experiences and the feelings that I was trying to relate.
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think so too, for sure.
I think with the simplicity you have in your production, like you don't go all out with this thing. It's just very,
Mm,
very simple, very clean, and has a lot of space for people to absorb. And that's what I
hmm
found was really intriguing with your music, versus other artists out there who really, put in like heavy productions sometimes, even for folk. They put in ambient sounds and this and that. But for you, it was very, very simple and very clean and just very Sam. You can tell your voice has a very distinct sound to it. And when you put it on, it's like, oh, that's Sam Kaiser, you know?
Thanks so much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, all of that, I kind of like, just because music is something that's still pretty new to me, relatively new, just like putting music out there. I've always just really enjoyed the fact that I kind of do it all myself. And
Mhm.
as much as I love talking to other musicians and thinking about writing sessions, and like maybe asking for collaboration, things like that, music for me is such an escape for myself,
For
that
sure.
I can just kind of get lost in every part of it.
Mhm.
And I don't know, just the process of creating something and listening to it back, and then probably hating it for a little bit, and then really, really getting it to a place where you actually really like listening to it, is just
Mhm.
so worthwhile and so satisfying for me.
For sure. Yeah, that EP is great. I loved I Belong. What's your favorite song in this EP?
Yeah, I think I Belong is definitely one of my favorites as well, just because it was so different from a lot of the things that I've written.
Mhm.
I tried just a lot of new production tools and a new guitar, and just like trying to get that electric spacey sound, which
Mhm.
I love the acoustic sound, and I think that's where I feel most comfortable. But I've also been listening to artists like the Tallest Man on Earth and
Mhm.
like Lord Huron, who like use a lot of vibey guitars,
Right.
vibey strings, that but still are within the folk genre. And I think it's such an interesting tool in the toolkit for folk artists, and it's just something that I really wanted to emulate. And the songwriting there was really fun too, because it was a lot of quick rhymes, a lot of quick words in
Mhm.
between the more drawn out choruses, and that was just kind of fun. It was kind of like, it's not really rapping, but it was like it was just kind of like a different way of performing vocally, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really love that song, and I think Back to Kingston is also one of my favorites, just because it's I think it just kind of plays to my strengths in the production too, because it's just layers upon layers of guitar, and then a couple layers of singing, which is
Mhm.
is how I started out with production, and how I don't know, how I feel most comfortable. Just that
For sure.
warm, creating that warm space, that warm room sound. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're from Kingston, Ontario. Were you born in Kingston or were you born in Hong Kong?
I was born in Hong Kong.
Okay. Okay. So Kingston, Ontario. What made you want to come to Kingston, Ontario, of all places?
Yeah, so I'm here for school right now. I just finished up my third year at Queens, but I also was really drawn to Kingston when I was thinking about applying to schools because there's such like a culture of music here. Some,
Hmm.
I mean, great bands have come out here, obviously like the Hip, and more recently like Casador, Glorious Sons,
Yeah.
just great bands. And I think what really drew me to it too was I came here with my parents to just kind of look at the school and look at the town. And we went to a couple different cafes and a couple different pubs, and there was someone playing at all of them. And it was like nobody like famous, no famous musicians, but it was just like community members and local musicians who
Hmm.
everybody knows and they can get a gig anywhere. And I was
Yeah.
like, I kind of want to be one of those guys. I kind of want
Yeah.
to like, be able to play and just kind of work on performing live and work on performing in these more intimate spaces that I feel like I want to work in more. Yeah.
Hmm. Kingston is a great city. We used to do shows over there when we were doing live events pre-COVID,
Yeah.
and we actually had the Glorious Sons play at our show, and they won our showcase competition.
Yeah, for
So it's
sure.
it's awesome. Yeah, I love the Glorious Sons. They ended up getting signed like a year after that,
Hmm.
and they were on their way. It's such a great place to discover new music. You're one of them, obviously. Um,
I hope, yeah, for sure.
so you're headed over to Hong Kong soon.
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Do you perform in Hong Kong as well?
I've never really performed in Hong Kong. No, I
Oh
performed in
wow.
like high school talent competitions and stuff. But I never. There is a great like music culture there too. It's a
Hmm.
little bit different because they kind of have their own genre, you know. Canto pop is huge and Mando pop is huge, but
Right.
then also there's a bit of an underground indie scene too, in kind of in
Hmm.
some of the more like there's kind of like a district around it's Wan Chai is the district, and
Okay.
there's a club there called the Wanch that plays like anybody can play there. There's bands that go there. They're more of like a more hard rock kind of underground place. And
Hmm.
I've seen a couple shows there, and it's a great spot. Yeah, I've never really, I really should. I mean,
Yeah.
I really got into music when I was at school here, like when I really started taking it more seriously because people started listening more.
Hmm.
And also like the type of music that I make is a lot more like reverberant and people in Canada enjoy it more. I think it's just a little bit like folk music is a little bit more like listened to and
Yeah, more popular here,
for
definitely.
sure, yeah. So a
Yeah.
lot of people back home, they're like, "Oh, you gotta make like very sleepy acoustic music," and I'm like, "I mean, fair enough, I do, but people do listen to it." But yeah, I think there's like a little bit of a not like a lack of understanding, but just like fewer people listening, like I said, in Hong
Hmm.
Kong. And I do think that there are opportunities that I will be looking for this summer.
For sure.
Hopefully, if I can with COVID and live music, it's tough,
Yeah.
but I'll see. I'll see.
Yeah. I think that's where it differs, right? The cultural differences with the
Mhm.
music tastes. So definitely, but give it a shot. I mean, you never know
Yeah,
what's
for
gonna
sure.
happen over in Hong Kong. And
For
let
sure.
us know. Just keep us updated on IG. I keep watching you on IG and your performances. And is
Yeah.
it at your room or where are you performing right now?
Yeah, right, right on my bed, just over there. I just
That's
do my
how it is.
Yeah, I just do my little sets whenever I have a little
Nice.
idea or something I'm working on. I'll just put it on Instagram.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, but when we were back in, because Kingston's been doing generally quite well with COVID. So
Mhm.
a few weeks ago, or I guess like over a month ago now, I actually got to play a gig for the first time in over a year in a bar. It
Wow.
was awesome, and it was like a paid gig. I got the whole night. It was limited seating, but all my friends could come, and
Mhm.
everybody bought lots of drinks, and it
Yeah.
was a good time. And
Oh,
I,
is that the one that you posted on Instagram where
yeah,
everyone came? Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I just that was such a good time, and I'm glad I
Yeah.
got to do it this year at least one time. And
Hmm.
I just hope next year it'll be a little bit more open to do things like that.
Oh, you guys are real lucky. I wish that was happening here in Montreal right now.
Yeah,
We are missing all the live shows, but hopefully they're saying Jazz Festival should come in September.
awesome. That's
So,
great.
yep, hopefully everyone's vaccinated, but we are definitely craving the music, live
For
music
sure,
scene again.
for sure.
So have you played in other cities in Canada before or just Kingston?
Just Kingston.
Hmm.
Again, I'm super new to the whole. I'm new to music just generally. I mean,
Yeah,
I only really started writing music when I was like 17, so that was like 3 years ago.
that's
And
incredible.
yeah, I've just been making music in my bedroom, and only recently have I been really like seeking out opportunities to play live. I really started
Mhm.
playing in places in Kingston last year.
Okay.
And then this year, COVID. So
Yeah.
it's been tough. But yeah,
So if ever you come to Montreal, let us know. We'll try to get you a gig here. We'd
I'd
love to
love to
have
play in
you.
Montreal. Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
great Montreal seems like such a great music town. I've only been in once, but I'd love to come through.
Yeah, it's definitely the music capital of Canada, I think, in terms of just the diverse genres that we have over here. It's just super artistic. It's a very supportive music community. So we'd love to have you for sure. If we get to do a show soon, we'll
Yeah.
definitely put you on the list.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to.
Yeah. Was music always a part of your life? You said you kind of only started at 17, but how did this just come about?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I started writing music when I was about 17.
Hmm.
I'd always like my parents loved music and really like raised me with a lot of music playing in the house all the time. Very diverse music tastes. My mom was playing like 80s power bands and like canto pop. She loves Bon Jovi. And then
Hmm.
my dad was playing like Bob Dylan and like Leonard Cohen and Joni Mitchell and stuff like that. So I
Wow.
guess I resonated a little bit more with that side, because
Yeah.
that's kind of the music that inspires my own.
Hmm.
Um, and I played in bands and things in high school. Like I learned guitar. I play a few instruments, so I played in a couple different bands. But I taught myself guitar when I was about 12,
Hmm.
and when I turned like 16 or 17, I was just kind of like, I'm kind of sick of playing covers. Like I kind of want to. I feel pretty comfortable with this instrument. I want to
Hmm.
try and write some songs and just see what it feels like.
Hmm.
And then I wrote Old Stars when I was 17, and I put it on SoundCloud, and people really liked it, and they were like, "Yo, you should just like get it on Spotify," because I was when Spotify and Apple
Right.
Music were like starting to become what everyone was listening stuff on.
Hmm.
And I was like, I wonder how you actually like do that. Like, I wonder, do I have to be like on a record label or something? Like, is there any other way? And then I looked into it and like I found a way to do it, and then I did it, and then people started listening to it on there, and I was like, hey, if my song can hit 1,000 streams on Spotify, like maybe if I put another song out, it'll happen again. So just kind of from there, I've just been intermittently working on songs whenever I've had time. And more
Yeah.
recently, I've devoted a lot more time
Yeah.
to working on songs and songwriting and things like that.
It's funny that you had like no clue how to kind of put your songs onto Spotify, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
Spotify's responded really well, and you have
Yeah.
thousands of hits on not just one song, but a couple of songs on your Spotify profile. So if you guys want to check him out. Sam Kaiser on Spotify. He honestly has such feel good music. And your writing is really introspective. You're honest with your thoughts and feelings. And will we see this common theme in the upcoming projects that you might have coming up?
Yeah, I think so. Like I was saying, I mean, I think it's just disingenuous to not make songs that you really understand yourself, or like
Yeah.
songs that you don't believe. I think no one's gonna believe your song if you don't believe it yourself.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's just always what I think of in songwriting. And I think a lot of the new stuff that I've been working on is a lot more like I'm trying to get away from like breakup songs. I feel like they're like I've written enough of them. There's
Yeah.
definitely enough of those.
You've
And
unpacked it.
exactly, and there's way too many breakup songs out there already. And I'm more curious about just like I don't know, just more complex thoughts about different things. And
Hmm.
I've just been trying to unpack things in an interesting way, or I guess what I think is an interesting way.
Hmm.
And just like yeah, just and a little bit more like complex lyrics, I hope at least, and a little bit more complex music too. I've
Okay.
been really fiddling around with the guitar and trying to make things a little bit more interesting to listen to. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sonically, is it going to kind of be the same simplicity that you have in these songs? Or are you thinking of adding some more instrumentation, some more, I don't know, layers? What are you thinking for the next upcoming sound that you have?
Yeah, I think I mean I'm always really comfortable in the like 2 3 track acoustic, stuff. And I think there's definitely going to be a bit of that at least
Okay.
in the next project. But I'm also, like I said, really interested in that bigger vibe with the electric guitar. And
Yeah.
I've experimented a little with percussion, but I'm not sure exactly where I want to go with that. I think that the ambient sounds a little bit more, I don't know, more my style in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I'm really curious about more voices, different structures of organizing my sound, and like different how like spreading out the space of the sound is something
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking a lot because I'm still in school.
Right.
Been taking some courses in like electroacoustic composition,
Mm-hmm.
and just like how I can use some of those tools in songwriting as well. I've been really listening to Ben Howard's new record,
Very cool.
which is very, very like very different than the rest of his stuff because he's always been the guitar guy,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of his new stuff is very based on synths and like
Mm-hmm.
just like weird electronic sound. So I want to at least include a little bit of that kind of stuff. I don't want to go too far with it, but definitely rooted in the acoustic stuff with some experimentation for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. And for school, are you studying music?
Yeah, it's my minor. Yeah, music
Okay, cool. And what's your major?
drama.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
are you looking to act as well?
Not really.
No.
I am definitely more passionate about the music stuff at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've only got a year left. I'm gonna finish up the drama degree, but I do. I think I've taken a lot more from the music stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Cool, very cool. So what's next for you? Do we see a single, an EP, an album coming out? What's in the plans?
Okay, there's definitely something coming. I've been working. I have so my notes app on my phone is gross. It's so disorganized. I have ideas and I have some songs written. I just don't know how. And I've been working on producing a few,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know exactly how I want to approach like getting it out there at this point. I think I need to put a little bit more thought into um, what songs I want to put out first,
Mm-hmm.
when, how I want to organize the final product. Because I do want to put out at least one song this year after
Right.
Pocket Change. I think I can definitely do more, but that's the goal right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want it to be singles leading up to a bigger project, whether that be an EP or an album.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of work. And in Hong Kong, I'm going to have a setup, but it's a little bit different to the setup that I have here.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see how that will work too. But I think I can definitely get something out this summer for sure.
Yeah, so you'll be working in your room again, but in Hong Kong this time.
Yeah, yeah. All my songs have been made between this bedroom and my bedroom in Hong Kong.
Should call the next EP bedroom or something,
Honestly,
you know?
honestly, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, we'd love to hear the new stuff, so send it over to us. We'd love to
for
take a
sure.
listen. So just let everyone know where they can find you, where they can listen to your music. Where is that? What platforms are those?
Yeah, so I'm on all streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, if you're on any of those. It's just Sam Kaiser on everything. I've also got a Bandcamp page, just samkaiser.bandcamp.com. And I got a website, samkaiser.com. But yeah, it should be pretty easy to find if you just Google my name too.
And he's got some great stuff on IG. What's your IG handle again?
Sam Kaiser Music.
Okay, Sam Kaiser Music. Check it out, guys. Thank you so much for being here, Sam. You're such a joy to talk to.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me. This has been really fun.
Yeah, for sure. So have fun in Hong Kong and let us know if you get a gig over there. If you're live streaming, we'd love to watch it. And everyone tune in to Sam's stuff.
Thanks so much. I would definitely do that.
Take care.
You too.
Some pocket change to spend. Clean out the apartment. Find another friend. Oh, I do all the good things.